He's at 18 for the win. Stand by for a start. There they go. Off and racing. Nova Regal began well. God's Fate, the favourite, was only moderate away. He's now back to midfield, but Nova Regal, as expected, will lead. From Good Vibrations, Red Sapphire outside of Day Flirt, and now charging forward is Mr. Dreyfus. Victory Cat's caught off the track there with Once a Thief. Day Flirt is now drifting back there with God's Fate, who's in front of 3 in the initial stages. They are Book It, Sue Bang, Will Be Better, and Born a Fighter back on the rail. So Nova Regal led by 2 lengths to Mr. Dreyfus. 3 lengths away third, Good Vibrations. Red Sapphire first up from the breakers, now 3/4 away, racing fourth from God's Fate, and they were followed by Victory Cat, then Once a Thief, Born a Fighter, Day Flirt, Will Be Better, and Book It, Sue Bang, the tail ender. But they enter the lane, just under 400 to go. Nova Regal about to be collared by Mr. Dreyfus, a Red Sapphire, and God's Fate is staying on towards the centre, and then came Good Vibrations. It's still Mr. Dreyfus, the leader. He tries to fend off all the challengers from Red Sapphire. God's Fate down the outside. It's Mr. Dreyfus holding on though, getting close to the wire. Mr. Dreyfus, he falls in. Mr. Dreyfus does enough to win from God's Fate and also Red Sapphire. They were followed by Born a Fighter, Good Vibrations, Nova Regal. Next across, Once a Thief, Will Be Better, Day Flirt, Victory Cat, and Book It, Sue Bang. So Mr. Dreyfus back in winning form this afternoon and ridden by R. Reuven. Coming from one of the wide barriers today. And the Epo Visitor gets the job done. Number 11, Mr. Dreyfus first. 26 for the win, 11 the place. Holding off the late charge of God's Fate. Well, he was only moderate away. He was back about 7th or 8th on settling. He goes down narrowly. Red Sapphire was back in the centre. Not a bad effort first up too by Red Sapphire. His first run since November. And as we stand by for the numbers, they will be through shortly. 11, 4 and 7. I think they'll be the placings as they cross the line, with Mr. Dreyfus returning to the winner's stall today. His first win since March of last year. He's now won 7 from 75 overall. 11, 4 and 7. And Born a Fighter, who came from last, he'll run 4th, number 2. Mr. Dreyfus, an 8-year-old brown gelding by Sufficient out of Go Nom. Trained by Kevin Coatsey for the Purple Rain stable and was ridden by R. Reuven. The runner-up is number 4, God's Fate, CK Core for Richard Lyons, and third is number 7, Red Sapphire. The stablemate ridden by W.W. Cheer, and fourth is number 2, Born a Fighter, prepared by A.B. Abdallah and ridden by J. D'Souza. The margins are a neck by a head by 2 3/4. 1:11.6 the race time. 1:11.6, slightly quicker than the first division of this race. So ridden forward today, Mr. Dreyfus came from barrier number 11 and was able to work forward. Found a position closer to the leaders today with R. Reuven aboard. Gets the job done. Closing off well though was God's Fate. Red Sapphire likewise back in third placing. Stablemates finishing in the minor placings there.